Hello, my name is Celestine. Today's class will be looking at solar energy and solar collectors. This is basically for beginners, especially those in SS1. The sun. The sun is an enormous energy source. This energy from the sun is so important to the earth, such that our lives even depend on it. In this class, we are going to look at how we can tap from this energy using some equipment produced by man, so that we can promote or increase our standard of living in the area of heat energy. Outline for today's class includes general introduction to solar energy. We're going to introduce solar energy the best way we can. Secondly, we'll look at production of solar energy, how solar energy is produced from the sun. Then thirdly, we'll look at solar collectors, also called solar panels. We'll look at the types of solar collectors used, and we'll look at how they are used, which basically includes the principle of operation of the solar panels. On the right hand side, we can see a picture of the sun rotating and radiating energy into its surrounding. Looking at this, you can't even imagine how hot this can be. The temperature at the surface of this sun is around 6,000 degrees Celsius. Remember, your hot water or boiling water is just around 100 degrees Celsius. So compare 100 degrees Celsius and about 6,000 degrees Celsius of the temperature of the sun just at the surface of the sun. While the core, which is the center of the sun, is about 15 million degrees Celsius. We can't even imagine that. Let's go back to general introduction of the solar energy. Now, the sun is a star which the earth and other planets orbit. This basically means that the earth and other planets, they move around the sun. Now, as they do that, they absorb heat energy and receive light from the sun. Now, we can term the sun to be solar. Now, solar energy is light, heat, and other forms of energy that is given off by the sun. Now, if we use devices or intellect to collect solar energy that is given off by the sun, we can actually use that to promote or improve our standard of living by generating heat for bathing, cooking, washing, and also generate electricity from solar energy collected from the sun. So it generally means that the sun, solar energy, is so important to man, as well as it is important to the earth, because the earth itself uses heat energy from the sun to cool itself so that it can be habitable. Else, the earth may be too cold for us to live. Production of solar energy. How is solar energy produced from the sun? We have looked at the temperature of the sun at the surface, 6,000 degrees Celsius, and the temperature of the sun at its core, 15 million degrees Celsius. Now, for this process of production of the solar energy, there is a reaction going on in the sun's core, which we call nuclear reaction. This is when we have light elements like hydrogen fusing. We have two hydrogen nuclei fusing, or they combine to form helium and neutron. As they form helium and neutron, a huge amount of heat energy, light energy, generally called solar energy, is produced and given off into the surrounding. Now, this is possible because of the very high temperature in the sun's core. So this should tell you that the nuclear reaction that is going on happens in the sun's core. Now, generally, we look at nuclear fusion as the combination of light elements, where we have smaller elements fusing, coming together, joining together to form a heavier element. Now, as this goes on in the sun releases enormous amount of energy in joules, which is about 4.0 times 10 to the power 20 joules of energy every second. I'll take that again. As this process goes on, the nuclear reaction, fusion of light elements, where we have hydrogen combining to form helium, producing a very huge amount of heat energy. The energy that is released from the sun is about 4.0 times 10 to the power 20 joules. This energy is released for every second. Now, the energy released is majorly light energy and what? Heat energy. Solar collectors or solar panels. Now, these are the devices used to capture solar energy so that we can use them to improve our standard of living. Most solar heating systems capture solar energy with a device called solar collectors or solar panels. Now, the plate absorbs sunlight and uses it to heat air or water that flows through pipe around our houses. So, if we collect energy from the sun, we can use these energies to heat the air or water which we use in our homes. We have two types. One is the flat plate collector. The second one is the focusing collector. These are the two types of solar collectors we basically use. So from their names, collectors, flat plate collector, or we can call it flat plate solar collector, which means flat plate that collects what? Solar energy. Focusing collector, focusing device that is used to collect solar energy. Looking at the flat plate collector, the first one, let's look at the cover first, this top. Now the top is built to prevent heat loss, which means rays of the sun that strikes the cover here will definitely go inside and will be absorbed by the absorber plate. So the cover also does the job of protecting the absorber plate, collecting rays from the sun, protecting that rays of the sun, which is heat energy, not to escape, then giving it to what? The absorber plate. Now the absorber plate is built to receive heat energy and store that heat energy. Thus, it can save heat energy absorbed from what? The rays from the sun. Look at the flow tubes. Through these flow tubes, liquid, whether water, whatever liquid, let's say fluid, fluid means liquid or gas. Through this flow tube here, fluid can flow through it. Now, as the fluid flow through it, they will absorb heat stored by the absorber plate. Now, the heat energy stored by the absorber plate will be transferred to the flow tubes, which means anything that enters from the inlet, from this inlet connection, will definitely flow through the flow tubes and collect that heat stored by the absorber plate, then pass out through the outlet connection to your home, the storage tank, or to the house. If it is water, it can be sent direct for use, storage. If it is air, maybe the room is too cold, we can use the heat coming out from here, which will become hot air to heat up the room. Now, if you look at the way this thing is built, it is built so that heat that is collected will be stored. We look down here, we have insulation here. Insulation to the bottom and side of the collector to reduce the loss of heat. So at the top and at the bottom, we have things that are insulator, that serve as insulator to save heat that is trapped inside here. So that heat trapped inside here will do the job to heat liquid or gas that is made to pass through the pipes, then sent to the storage. Let's look at the flat plate collector, the outline principle of operation. The metal sheet, which is that cover, is exposed to solar radiation. The sun rays enters and strikes the absorber plate. The rays heat up the absorber plate and thermal energy is achieved. Now, the absorber plate is built to absorb and retain energy. This helps us to achieve equilibrium temperature. Equilibrium temperature here will mean that a situation where the temperature inside will be the same temperature as the temperature outside, which means there will be no exchange of heat energy. So let's go again. The metal sheet is exposed to solar radiation, that's cover. So that heat energy, that's rays from the sun striking the cover, will be sent to the absorber plate. The absorber plate will store that energy till equilibrium temperature is achieved. The second bullet here says that metal pipes are connected. Remember the inlet. From here, inlet connection, where we have the inlet connected to the metal pipes. Now, metal pipes are connected to the absorber plates, and the heat from the absorber plate are transferred to the pipes. Remember that through this pipe, we are going to pass liquid or air. Now, next bullet, liquid. We're using water here, passing through the metal pipes to the storage tank or point of usage, gain heat from the heated pipes. So if we are going to arrange this in a nutshell, we are going to say that the surface, the cover, absorbs the heat energy, sends that heat energy to the absorber plate. Absorber plate is built to store that heat energy. Liquid or air is passed through pipes. Now, these pipes are in contact with the absorber plate, which means the heat energy stored in the absorber plate will be passed to the pipe and then to the liquid or water, which is then passed to the storage tank.